Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an extra game covered from the Golden Gift Qualifier number 2, with this entire tournament having $1,060 on the line. Now, this is a request from AOL Iron Maiden, one of our content partners and website subscribers, so thank you very much for the support. And if you fine folk in the YouTube viewership want to become a website subscriber, then the link will be for that in the description. You can get all sorts of perks like requesting specific games to be covered or sending in your own and more. Now, in the blue color, we have got the one and only Shelty playing as Odin. And on the other side, in the red, we have got Ridu playing as Oranos. Yeah, Ridu is back in the tournament scene, no less, so that is fantastic to see. A very strong player, but Shelty's no slouch, as you all probably well know. I'm told great things about this match, but I have been told no details. So we're gonna find out together what happened here. Now, on Watering Hole here, you got a ton of Hunt. Definitely benefits Odin super hard. And this is actually a matchup that the Oranos players have been kinda vocal about in terms of how difficult it is. Just Ulfsark spam or the Raiding Cavalry being a little bit oppressive at times, as well as eventually the Valkyrie spam becoming a problem. And then Odin just gets a sick Frost off on your second gold mine, getting your army, idling your vills. It's brutal. Let's take a look at what kind of relics we've got. We've got the Veget Eye, and we've got the Head of Orpheus. It's funny though, because the dynamic really turns around on the low hunt, mid hunt maps, where Oranos kind of just reigns supreme and Odin doesn't get to really enjoy the hunt bonuses that he's got, which is extra gather rate as well as the actual god power great hunt, multiplying animals. Yeah, take away both of those and Odin kind of becomes a little bit impotent, to be completely honest. Not exactly the best use. So Age of Mythology, I believe, is really a game where you pick the god after you know the map, which means that the random map picking environment is maybe not the best performance indicator. Certainly not compared to when you're looking at tournaments. So tournaments, the players pick their maps. Sometimes it's predefined. In this best of one, it's actually predefined by us, the hosts, which would mean that the players just have to pick accordingly to the map that we picked. But from there, the loser picks next, if it's a best of 3 or best of 5. So the players do have at least some amount of control over things. And you know, having a variety of maps also demands more from the players in terms of learning multiple gods, giving us this extremely nice variety that we get from tournaments. Now we've got the temples coming up from both players. I think it's time I do this. Put on the interface. So Ridu's gonna advance with 7 citizens, completely normal stuff. 430 something. It's pretty normal to be off by a second or two. As for Shelty, he's actually got a lot of gold in the bank, so technically he could have saved an extra villager by making an extra dwarf and then advancing a little bit earlier, but no worries. Having a good economy is always a good start into H2. Especially with Odin, you get to wall off a little bit, as you've got this Skraeling that doesn't need to scout. You send out your ravens and they do the work for you, whereas, oh my goodness, there's double elephants in the corner. A spot that Ridu is actually not that likely to check, if I'm completely honest. Pickaxe is getting researched, so the economy for Ridu should be in a pretty good shape. He's already got hand axe as well, so his citizens are going to be working away hard. Oracles are being brought back in case they're needed for a Valor, but with Ridu advancing first, honestly, he should be able to just make a counter barracks, military barracks mix, Terma and Murmillo. There's absolutely no need for the early defensive Valor. We're gonna see the Prometheans getting split up. Is it better to do this and get the scouting info? Or do you just keep the Promethean is always a question that I've been asking myself. I'm not that sure as to the value of this, but if you look at Redo's point of view, there's a lot of scouting left to be done. The Oracles are an okay scout on the smaller maps, but Watering Hole certainly is not small, and he's had to pull them back, which kind of limits his potential scouting abilities. Very nice little city building from Shelty. An aspect of the game that was lost in Age of Empires 4. You can actually wall off with your buildings for the most part. He's leaving a little bit of a gap, but he can very easily plug that with military units. And then of course the gate is around. Okay, we're gonna have a forest fire. That's gonna burn down the manor. Really trying to do what he can with the repairs, but that's not gonna work. It's too strong, this thing. Anyway, Raven gets sniped, and Lone Wanderer is getting researched, so do expect a mass Offsark to happen. It's already underway, and Shelty is feeling confident enough to throw down a third longhouse. That is going to be a lot of production coming in. He's currently getting dwarves. Rearranging everybody, so yeah, the Offsarks are pretty food heavy, but not that food heavy. At 50 and 30... cost-wise, you should be able to kind of get 2.5 longhouses going, but as your economy grows, that situation gets better. Also very nice to get some extra pigs, as eventually Oranos will get on top of you, but not before all of this has been consumed, I would expect. I forgot the relics. This one was the head of Orpheus. So extra building line of sight. This one is the Veget Eye, so cheaper myth units. That's gonna come in very useful when Valkyries get made. So they cost 200 food by default, and with this only 180. That's actually really cheap. The Valkyries are blobs of stats, really. And the healing on top is just crazy good. Okay. That kind of watering you're not supposed to be doing. But Redo did it anyway. Anyway, no big deal as it failed. I'm gonna be getting rid of one Murmillo, and the Offsarks better run at this point. They have 5.28 speed after Lone Wanderer completes, which makes them extremely hard to hit. The TC will be able to do so though, and targeting that on the weak Offsark would be the goal, I think, here. Running into the Cairo Ballista, Shelty is gonna choose to engage it, losing 3 Offsarks for 1 Cairo. 4 Offsarks, that is not cost effective anymore. But there's a lot more coming. Bear in mind these guys train in just 9 seconds. The Murmillo take 12. So the Offsark count is gonna be pretty bonkers pretty soon. Here it goes. Shelty is moving out on this side where there's a bunch of hippos. Not really caring for the crowned crane, which he definitely could have grabbed. But now for Redo, as he's approaching maximum population, very soon he should be thinking about making sure that he can get a second TC going. But right now the double Murmillo production is actually stopping his ability to train Wills. This is brutal. Any such downtime is really bad for you, hurts your economy so much. So calming down on that infantry spam, I think, would be pretty important by this point. Finally, the citizen begins getting made, so Shelty's pressure is proving just really solid overall, and his armor is coming up. He's adding in a bunch of raiding cavalry, which is a really good choice. These guys have the double bonus against siege weapons, which is exactly what the Cairo Ballista are. Getting the flank in, you can do so much work, which is also one of the reasons why you should have a bunch of catapulties just to fend that off. And there it comes. I think he's gonna slap down the TC just as he maxes out as predicted. This is super standard for Oranos. There is absolutely no need for them to take a bad engagement. They can wait for medium infantry. As right now no units are getting made, which means that you got all these resources freed up. And I'm surprised to not see it queued actually. Did he kill a unit of his own just to get that citizen out? Huh. That's interesting. Got a little raid from Shelty coming in. No armory upgrades. He's also kind of saving up for the next age, planting down an extra longhouse. And now switching to dwarf production as his gold mine has expired. A little bit of raiding going on, but really not much damage. Redo has well-placed manors. Maybe the Ulfsarks can get on top of these citizens though, but with 5 Carol Ballista around, it doesn't seem all that easy to me. Medium infantry is in for Redo. Turning the Murmillos into some much better units. Certainly better than these Ulfsarks at only 88 hit points each. But they do get to regen, so that is a huge amount of value that they can generate over time. Now it's going to be very important for Shelty to hide behind his walls, because these Ulfsarks are super weak. They cannot take a fight right this moment. Skadi is coming up, however. So if you can stall long enough by just allowing this longhouse to take the damage, the villagers can just run through. Oh god, he's having to open up the base. That's not great. But there are resource spots to run back to. He's got that going for himself. And these raiding cavalry have very nicely distracted several of Redo's units. So at least he's not here full force just yet. But the Prometheans do have some crush damage, 5 DPS to be exact, and that can tear down these buildings with just a little bit of support. Those Caribous do shred the medium throwing axemen. Shelty shouldn't be allowing that to happen. Oh, here it comes. Frost gets the entire army. And Shelty should be able to get a great fight going. The Promethean will be taken down, no problem. But the babies look like they can maybe smack this throwing axe, no? No, they hit the different one. Anyways, fight continues. There's a Frost Giant now. And more of that is underway. Hyperion is getting worshipped by Redo. And him being on 2 TCs means that he has got all this population. Shelty should be technically in a little bit of trouble. Although he's killed a handful of units of Redo. I mean, this is 129 population to 111. Shelty can barely stay popped with his little production as he's got just 3 longhouses. Should be 4 or 5 by now. And maybe even slapping down a hill fort would have been wise, but he gets a lot of units as they fall. Some nice hits going through on the Cariballista. You know, they only have 85 health themselves. So even though they're frozen at that point, you can do a ton of work with that. Converted Frost Giant might get the other Frost Giant if Shelty's not careful, but it's only a raiding cav, so totally acceptable. Oh my god, that's a huge shockwave and a huge issue. The Terma deal massive bonus damage against the throwing axemen. And they will all be taken down, it seems. Shelty has to go back all the way to his main. Now he has got medium cavalry as well, which is going to help him take down those Caraballistas for good. But he does need to flank. Currently he's fighting the Murmillos in the front. These guys are really the only meat that he has. Okay, Carols melt to raiding cav, like I said. And he's going to push forward with the palace. We've got double military barracks very closely built to this. No need to spam from the home base, right? When you can make some very cheap buildings up front. So long as you can keep it going. If you lose the fight and you lose your palace on top of everything, that can be pretty bad. But right now there's still enough army around with the Arcus also popping out to allow Redo to finish this thing. He's getting a second citizen on it. Sorry, 3 citizens now building the palace. That will provide a lot of extra coverage. And I do expect to see destroyers soon. A little bit of hunt here still, should Redo wish to do that. And Shelty gets absolutely smoked, man. That's savage. What's he gonna do now? Like, he needs those upgrades for sure. He's got copper shields. Market, okay. Maybe attempting a Ragnarok as a last-ditch effort. But what's there to stop Redo from just punching through this base? It's got medium infantry, like I said before. Medium archers is a granted. And there's gonna be destroyers. What? How did this... Oh, there's a land bridge here. Okay. So Shelty snuck through, eating elephants on Ridu's side that Ridu might not even know about. That's he does know of the elephants, but he hasn't checked to see if Shelty... I mean, Shelty is crazy. He shouldn't be here, but he is here. And he kind of gets away with it. Getting away with things like this just brings so much value to the table. There's 2 more gold mines available for Shelty. One here, one here. So I don't think he's gonna have any problems running out of gold. And he's almost got the resources required for Mythic. There's the triple Arcus hero. They're very damaged though. This Watchtower can really deliver a lot of value right now by focusing them. Okay, Mormillo's got a little annoying. They managed to kill the ox cart. Shelty's making a new one. This is gonna really deliver these. Oh god. That's some long distance deliveries. But unlike the deliveries I get, they don't get a sorry I missed you note. Right at home, UPS guy. Working from home. Please knock. Thanks. Just, you know, just in case UPS guy is watching this. Anyway, Shelty cleans up house, man. He's Balder, 37%. What? Second palace coming up for Ridu. He's gonna need this kind of things. He's 3 TCs. If he can max out, he's holding a really good chance of holding. He's got heavy infantry. He's got copper mail, which is so important to get against Norses. Pretty much everything is dealing hack damage. Minus like buildings and ballista, but shouldn't be a problem. There's trolls, I guess. It's a very, very simple decision to make. And we've got copper weapons coming in too. A bronze armor would be the next move, or masons actually. Masons is pretty expensive though. 2 frost giants drop, and the third one probably is next. Only at 38 points. Oh god, it's dead. Next one getting targeted down. Dude, Shelty has nothing left. He has to Ragnarok all in right now. Pull the trigger. He's already got some boys behind the enemy lines. Boys and girls actually. Where are the female Ragnarok hero voice lines? We need those. It's a good idea for retold. Fire giant spawns, of course, and that's gonna help punch through this gate. Absolutely no problem. But man, Shelty's losing frost giants left and right. Now with the heroes in, he might be able to take the fight and the TC. He's hit the gold miners in the back. Ridu's not gonna have a lot of resources left behind, but Masons is finishing up. And like I said, that might be a pretty expensive upgrade, but it also pays off. Especially on Vubli, where the TC is not that strong to begin with. So while it provides less value than it does for the other civs, it's very meaningful, and these Ragnarok heroes are tearing through the buildings for now. Despite Masons, despite everything, despite Ridu's upgrades and unit count, although it's impressive, he's not Mythic Age, he can't be spamming Fanatics, which would be really the hard counter. The villagers are all caught. Shelty is ripping them a new one. Oh my goodness. Was it 25? Now 22. Donkeys dying left and right. Back to 21 villagers only, and Ridu is forced to... I don't even know, where does he gather resources from? He's barely got any food. These guys got raided, and another citizen kill goes through from Shelty. He's all over the place. Trying to remake his own economy? No, Shelty's not remaking. I mean, he's over the population limit still, so he can't yet, but very slowly he could crank out a handful of villagers for sure. And dwarves. Norse does have that little perk, so that's fantastic. Citizens trying to get to the gold mine, but they kinda can't. There's very little here as well that's left. Now what Shelty has to do now is control the resources on the map. He's got a fairly good army, might be able to go right through this TC fairly cleanly. The Fire Giant plus Frost Giant combo will be holding its own. Pushing away the citizens once more, getting a partial surround on this one. You kind of need 8 for a full one. But anyway, just blocking the path and cutting them down like this can provide such huge value over time. Heavy Arcus are in, by the way. But no further upgrades for Redo, and he can barely afford units actually. He's got a handful in garrisons and whatever, idling. So if everybody lined up, then maybe he has a chance of holding the home base, but this is gonna be close either way. Another citizen cut down, he's down to 16, 17. But definitely has to cut the extra citizens at this point. There's no way you can afford both units and citizens when you're this low. The gold mine is about to run out and Shelty is controlling this one. He's not even gonna bother with the TC, he knows the citizens are the prime target. And Redo also realizes his problem, but is gonna lose 2 more citizens. That's a huge issue. The Fire Giant is in a prime position to deliver the big bombas as well. Look, these Arcos are super lined up. They're basically begging for it. What you gotta do is put them in spread formation at the very least, but even then, these guys are slow. 4.13 speed. These 4.8 speed Ragnarok heroes are gonna run them down. But that army is now together. Redo's chance is here. He doesn't necessarily have to have a TC. Just save those resources, don't even bother repairing. Take the best fight you possibly can. And we've got a split from Redo, so that's good to see. Arcos do get to shoot. But Shelty's pullback micro is actually through the roof, man. Keeping several low HP of these heroes alive. And now going for the TC. With the Arcos just being in the back. Man, I'm not sure Redo can make it. We've got dwarves. Shelty is working on it. Excuse me. And Redo's TC does fall. I'm not sure he can come back from this anymore. He only has 15 citizens left and these 4 are surrounded. That's the disaster that really stops him from coming back. He doesn't have an army and he doesn't have citizens. They're all dropping left and right. Man, Shelty I think has done it. Down to 12 citizens is now Redo. This is the last TC that the citizens are trying to get to. And Redo has not enough units to defend it, I must say. That's 11 rack heroes, 8 more. And this Fire Giant has delivered the bombas, actually. There's 2 Fire Giants now, which is better than 1. You heard it here first. Oh man. Oh man, I think that's enough Fire Giant firepower to get rid of all these Arcus. Should just take 1 hit. He's got the surround. The Fire Giants are off cooldown. Oh my god. Actually, that wasn't as painful as I thought. Like, Redo did get to teleport into the TC somehow. But even more citizens falling. He's down to 10 citizens. Oh my goodness. And 4 of them are trapping themselves. Oh, they get found by the croc. I think Shelty knows exactly where they are. Oh no. He could run them down with as little as 2 rag heroes. He's gonna find them with the 1. This boy can regenerate and I mean he's tanky enough to take them on. He's got 30% hack armor. Get some free pickoffs again. Okay, might actually lose 1 rack hero here to the Arcus. Oh, 23 hit points gets away. And all he wants to do is just idle these villagers. He's gonna get the surround anyway. Redo's still pumping the units though, but he doesn't have any gold. He's made himself a market to trade the resources. But this is where the trouble begins. Oh god. By the gods. That's gonna be 4 more citizen kills. Yikes. Shelty's almost gonna be economically ahead at this rate. 9 villagers, that's dwarves I think mostly. Yeah, it's all dwarves. 9 dwarves to just 7 citizens and a dream from Redo. I'm not sure how he can deliver this killing blow to the Ragnarok hero army. He's got so many Arcus, he's finally using spread formation. And if he can get just a little bit of extra resources for some more Arcus heroes, he might be able to finally get it done. There's a pick-off. Every little bit like that counts for sure. And here's the fight that we've been all waiting for. Oh god, there's the extra Arcus hero. But he can't get it done, the army is split. If they were together, if only they were together and the TC units were outside, then maybe. 2 extra Arcus heroes targeting the Fire Giant down though, he might be able to get 1 kill. Shockwave is here, that's both Fire Giants potentially going down. But further units getting lost by Redo. Oh god, 3 more Arcus go down. But it did cost Shelty the Fire Giant, however he has 14 villagers already. And he's got gold. Redo is trading for gold, and not the good way. He's using the market exchange rates. And let me tell you, he's not getting mid-market rates. There's another Fire Giant up. Now 4 Arcus heroes are pretty spooky for it, but if it can get a good special attack off in the middle there, that will be felt. Shelty, of course, pulling back. He's gonna be smart about this. He's gonna just make 5 Fire Giants or something. There's no need to keep pumping dwarves at this point. It would be very nice to see a little bit of hunting from Shelty, as there's still some left. It's just over here in the middle. I guess that's risky. 4 rhinos, if he can control the map. Man, that would be a play. Is Redo still trying to make citizens? Yes. So at least he didn't forget to restart the process. He's trading some resources now, looking to get a TC, I would assume. But how is he gonna kill 3 Fire Giants? It's about to be 4. And I don't think Shelty's done. Like, he's training dwarves non-stop. He's up 19 at the moment. That's, you can make 40. So you can keep that going for a while. And do keep in mind, these Ragnarok heroes, they regenerate. So what an absolute dumpster truck of a game. I'm very happy Iron Maiden recommended me to cast this. Like, this is great. Oh god, oh god. They're in range. They can do it. Several Archers going down again. And several staying at extremely low HP. Like, this is very chaseable right now. You gotta separate the Ragnarok heroes from the Frost Giant so that they chase properly. As AOM has this formation system that they follow the speed of the slowest unit. Okay, the palace would be hard to take on, to be fair. Redo now moves on to a gold mine, but we're starting to get to a point where Shelty honestly has an acceptable economy here with 21 dwarves. He's gonna use what little what he has to make a handful of throwing axemen, and then starting up the economy with dwarfs on the wood. That's hilarious. Okay. Redo's clumping up, but he's got 7 Arcus heroes, so it's not that easy anymore for the special attacks to gut him. Actually, the special attacks kind of go down on the palace. Shelty's just gonna throw everything he's got at it. Fire Giant's pulling back, trying to avoid the shots of the Arcus heroes, but only because they pull back does he get saved. The Murmillos are retreating as well. Throwing X-Men count is getting pretty healthy. So I think Shelty is able to take them on, and those Fire Giant specials are just devastating to Redo right now. Never got the second TC, so all that traded gold was actually spent on the palace to try to hold the gold mine and the walling as well, trying to help there. But yeah, you had to evacuate once again. If Shelty ever again gets a quad kill like he used to, I mean, he's gonna be set for life. Especially with the wood economy now going through. He could slap down a hill fort himself if he really wanted to. Would love to see it, actually. You know what would really decimate this army? Huskarls. So making the hill fort, I think, is the move. Could optionally go for ballista, but those are a little expensive. Though right now he could afford it. Ooh, another fire giant special going through. Spat formation from Redo helping out much as they can. 1 health on this Arcus hero, just about manages to survive. Really stressful. That gold mine must be running low for Shelty, but he's got another one. So good to go as far as that's concerned. He's desperately trying to find these citizens. Well, desperate is maybe an exaggeration. No more fire giants coming up, by the way. He doesn't have the favor right this second, but does find the citizens. That's 2 more kills, and finally Shelty will be economically ahead for certain. He's definitely got it now. There's a hill fort. He agrees. But with unfinished buildings, they actually don't have their armor until they finish, so they just kind of 0 armor, which means that the Arcus actually deal quite significant damage to unfinished buildings. Very nice, another 2 kills for free. And Rita's desperately trying to hide these citizens. Oh my. It's a tough life to be a Redo right now. He's got 10 Arcus heroes. That's gonna melt the Frost Giant. Hell, the Fire Giants aren't safe even. But getting on top of these citizens again, with 32 villagers in the back, Shelty is in a solid spot, I must say. That's 2 more citizen kills, about to be free almost. Oh, it's actually stuck. It's actually stuck. Are you kidding me? 3 citizen kills. Go through. And Redo's garrison micro has been great throughout, but if these fire giants just decide they want to kill the TC, they probably will kill the TC. There's the last shockwave coming through. I do expect that to take down at least 2 of these fire giants, but wait, 3 of the Arcus heroes are dead. There's barely any left. Can the fire giants just actually go for this? Rack heroes trying to stay on top of everything, and more units are streaming across the map in a Congo line. They're all just throwing axemen, so it's not as threatening as it could be. But the SDC is down to 575 hit points, Redo down to just 10 citizens, and I don't think they're that highly upgraded. They still have like the archaic age business in terms of the upgrades. And there's very few Arcus left right now, 2 of them hiding in the TC. Redo can repair this if he really wants to, but the TC fire isn't gonna provide enough help to kill these units. Like, okay, there's a repair. He can definitely out repair this, but he only has so much gold. 9 citizens are getting idled in this process. Is Shelty gonna siege this down with freaking throwing axemen? You are kidding me right now. No, he can't do it. He has to make a hill fort. But just idling down these citizens is a big play. So maybe he just stays and takes it and the Congo line continues forever. This is getting a little low, that gold mine. But we're Redo not gathering any resources essentially. Like, 2 of his citizens are farming. That's all he's got right now. Outside of here, the TC is getting sieged down. There's the fire giant, and this should be really the game-ending move right now. Citizens are trying to hold on desperately with the kitchen knives. Throwing axemen, however, 30% hack armor. They don't care all that much. These citizens, they don't actually hit harder than the counterparts of other civs. So there's that to keep in mind. TC down to 16 hit points. Next hit will get it, and actually Redo resigns before the fireball hits. Like, you gotta respect the hustle of denying Shelty the satisfaction of the kill, but still, that does mean that Shelty has won this game and went on into the losers semifinals, if I'm correct. Well, if you all want to pick a game to send in to us for casting, or just pick one to cast from one of our players, or anywhere in the community really. You can subscribe on the website, see you in the outro, and see you in the next video. Bye bye. We want to thank our MetaPlace website subscribers. Your contribution helps us keep the project sustainable. As we reach higher subscription goals, you are helping us cover more and more behind the scenes costs, such as video editing. Check out our subscription page using the link in the description, and remember to collect your perks. We will see you the next time.